Really? Nice to meet you guys. So I am the Han teacher. That's why sometimes it's a bit weird to be here. That's true. We are always talking to ourselves all time. So if you hear it, it's easier for you to understand the main topic and find the words. English connects you with only words you need. Translate it. Explain to your inner voice. He's dumb. You have to explain. I'm more than sure you see lots of people doing something, correct? You are here and you are doing something. That's the consciousness, okay? Motivated by some Indian guy somewhere at 2 a.m. by YouTube. Anytime I give him like a lesson to do like some speaking, you have to use your brain, right? And your brain is like, bye-bye, see you, howdy. I am using the technique of not explaining with words. So I am native to here. I was born and raised in Uzbekistan. No? No friends, relatives? No? Nobody? Just only you? Oh, come on, not so many. But okay. So guys, hello everyone. So nice to meet you all here. There are some my students here. That's why I was talking to them. Just don't be shy, it's okay. And I see other students from other branches, right? So who's from Novza today? Novza. Who's from Novza? Are you from Novza? You're at the Han now. Come on, man. Don't betray. So who is from the Han? Really? Nice to meet you guys. So I am the Han teacher. That's why sometimes it's a bit weird to be here. And our today's topic, as you can see, is quick ways on how to activate your speaking. So I should tell you that today is going to be a bit of fun, a bit of education, okay, a bit of questions, and get ready to work. Okay, right at the end. Because you came to talk, you have to talk, correct? So we know then when we're learning English, we understand that we completely suck, right? At some point. Sometimes it's reading, sometimes it's writing, but most of the time that's speaking, correct? Who can say that he or she is sure that his speaking is great? You see? So that's why you're here. So who is higher than pre-intermediate level here today? Oh, amazing. Who is elementary student? Do you understand me speaking English? Yeah? Great then. So, okay, let's get it started. And as for today, first of all, theory matters. Of course, we are nobody without theory, right? So I will tell you some quick points. I know that you know them already, but be confident and open to learn. So what does it mean to be confident? Some people are really struggling when they are speaking, correct? I see lots of coming to me, they are like closed, you know, they're scared. If I say something to them, they're like, oh my God, I'm not about to understand it. No, please go away. You shouldn't be like this, guys. You shouldn't be. So when you come in or when you start speaking, be open, be confident. Everybody's making mistakes, even teachers, even IELTS teachers. We're not robots. You are not robots, okay? Except for this, you are learners. It's okay for learners to make mistakes. Then, do not be afraid of making them, again, and love the process. So, I'm more than sure not everyone here really enjoys the learning of English, right? For some people, there was like, okay, father's, mother's purpose, right? So like, go and learn English, right? You will definitely need it somewhere in your life, and maybe your dad like, maybe that should have been Chinese, no? Like, and your mom like, no, English, that's 100%. And you come to class, the teacher is like motivating you. When you go out of the class, you are demotivated again, right? It's like all the time process. But guys, you should find this love, this power inside of you, okay? Because when I started learning English, I love it because I loved songs. I didn't understand them, you know. So when my mom was listening to Backstreet Boys, I was like a young kid. I was like 5 years old. I was learning the music, but I didn't understand what they were speaking about. And then I came up with the idea like how people could speak other languages except for Russian, let's say, or Uzbek or whatever. And I was interested. I loved it. And you have to love it. When you love it, you are open, right? You're confident, you can do it. When you're like, oh my God, I get that fucking English and something, I have to do my homework because Miss or Mr. will kill me, so something will come up, right? It's not a motivation, that's demotivation. You're scared, right? You don't have desire. That's why, love it. Then, the next point, and most importantly, guys, the first, there is no magic pill or trick that can help you to start speaking straight away. Sorry, you came for something great to hear from me, right? So I give you something, or I don't know, I do like this and you will speak all English. No, there is no magic trick. And, you know, when I was a learner myself, I made craziest mistakes in my life. You cannot even imagine. Because I came one day to the lesson that was like present simple. We have just like spotted it with the teacher. And she gave us an essay to write. I was, okay, fine, essay, then essay. And he does is. Yes, that was something that I wrote, and I was more than sure it's correct. You see? Like, she was always telling us, there should be to be. You cannot leave without to be. I was like, okay, so das is. That's completely fine. So, you see, I was also a learner. I made mistakes. It's fine. I remember my speaking when I entered the university. That was a piece of garbage, guys. Don't think it was marvelous. No. I was somewhere at the bottom. I was looking up to those people speaking perfect English and thinking like, oh my God, I suck, really, I suck. But actually, no magic pill, just patience and practice. And the second one is, there are some techniques. And today, we will speak about these techniques. I will teach you on how to use these techniques so to, you know, boost your speaking at some point. But guys, again, there is a trick. Do not expect a quick result within 1 week, okay? So within 1 week, you can say something a bit faster, maybe you can learn some words a bit faster, but to speak like teachers, you have to be teachers. Okay? So or you have to work in this sphere, or you have to be talking every day. You see? Not like coming and straight away waking up with amazing knowledge of English. No, it will never happen. And what's more, guys, I had a situation. There are some students that were coming to my classes, that was like many years ago, and their grammar was amazing. Sometimes even they were telling me something I didn't tell them. Can you imagine? Like, you're just describing present perfect, and they are giving you some kind of, you know, things. And I was like, oh, do you know this? That's elementary level, by the way. But the person is unable to speak. He's speaking somewhere at elementary level, but he's like intermediate or upper intermediate. That's the common, let's say, pain right now in Tashkil, in Uzbekistan, and everywhere. Students are cramming for grammar. They learn grammar, but at the same time, they do not practice out. They are afraid of speaking, you see? And when they come, they say, like, please, Ms.Olya, do something with me. What can I do? Am I a magician? No. I don't seem like a witch or something, right? So in that case, guys, that's only upon you. I can create a friendly atmosphere. I can flex with you, I can just be sarcastic a bit at times, so we can make hot debates, like teachers, you know, discussing some points. But at the same time, sorry, I cannot get through into your head, like open it up, do something with your brain, and put it back and you start speaking. No, it will not happen. It will not. That's why, please, make sure you do something every day. So, the next point, language plays a key role. Now, I will be talking from the linguistic side. I am a linguist. I'm not a teacher, okay? I'm a philologist, I'm a linguist. So, you know that in linguistic science, we have two things to speak about the language. First one is L1, that's your first language. It can be Russian, or it can be Uzbek, Tajik, Kazakh, whatever. And L2, that's the language that you learn. Okay, so it can be any language. Sometimes there is an interference happening, you see? So interference, it means when your first language, you think of your first language, it influences your second language. so hard. You start making mistakes in second language you think are good in first. For example, when Russian students are learning English, they create craziest sentences with like putting words at different places, and they think it's okay. In Russian and in Uzbek sometimes it's okay, but not in English. English has exact structure. What to say, how to say, where to say. You see? So that's the influence. That's why sometimes students are thinking, oh, I know a lot of words, so I can speak. No, it doesn't work this way. If you know these words, they are somewhere here, but not here. Okay? So we know lots of words in Russian, academic, highly academic. Do you think I'm using them in everyday life? Surely not. Of course not. I don't have these people to talk to. Right? And the same is to English. That's why start with the little point, with the littlest and simplest units. So something that is the same in Russian or in Uzbek and the same is in English. Then, guys, you have to ask yourself several questions. Will you be able to speak about different subjects without hesitation or filler words like, so well, in your language? That's the case. So sometimes students are learning a new language and they think it's like a formula. Like somebody wrote it to you, you understood it, and they think like brain, if you understood it, it should work. No, it doesn't work this way, you see? Even children, when we're just showing them, for example, that's a plant, say plant. So we say to child to say plant, right? Do you remember this moment, right? So we say like, say hello, say it, I told you, right? And then it's like, hello, or something, correct? So the child understood it's a plant, right? Or it's hello. But we urge him, say it, right? Say it. The same should be with your language when you are learning it. You understood it, say it, right? So you understood some point, speak it out so that your hearing will understand, connected, okay? Because other ways, there will be the word plant inside of your brain, you will understand it's like a tree or something, but you will never, ever be able to use it, to say it, because your, tongue will be a bit twisted. So, next one. Guys, do you know the word hesitation? Who doesn't know? Yes. So hesitation is the moment when you are not sure, right, about something. When you're like, okay, so what should I say? This or this? Sometimes your voice is like trembling. You cannot say something. You're shy, like close. That's the hesitation, okay? You don't know what to say, how to say. So next question. How much time do you usually spend using your own language? Chatting, speaking, thinking. So, guys, please raise up their hands, those who speak to themselves inside their head. Come on, everybody speaks to themselves inside their head, you liars. Everybody. So sometimes we have a voice, right, inside of our brain, which tells you, hey man, that was not correct. You should have done another way. You're like, no, that was a big mistake. Come on, and there's such a battle, right, inside of your mind that you should have done something. That's true. We are always talking to ourselves, all time. If you don't reflex it, you will not understand it. And this voice is your first speaking partner. You see? Sometimes students are like, Ms.Olya, I cannot learn the language because I don't have a speaking partner. Come on. You have your schizophrenia. Why not to use it? У тебя есть твоя шиза, почему бы ее не использовать? So, at the same time, guys, when you use your voice inside of your head, you can ask yourself questions, answer in different ways, right? And at the same time, you are the best speaking partner to yourself, correct? I didn't understand it until I was 20, because I started learning English, I was 15. And we have a great yard at our house, and we used to have a lot of trees. So I all time teach my students that, come on, my first speaking partners were trees. Do you think that tree is a better speaking partner than your voice? Of course not. I was coming up to feel like, hello man, how are you doing today? I hope everything is fine. And started talking to myself back. I know it sounds weird, correct? So coming up to tree and started talking. But it really worked. Guys, it really worked. I started feeling confident. Because I knew that if I say something, nobody will come and like, you're fucking right or fucking wrong, you see? So I was confident. And at the same time, you should understand how much time you use to speak your own language and how much time you use to speak English, you see? I'm more than sure that 80% of your time takes your first language, Russian or Uzbek, right? And 20%, usually during the lessons, that's English, when the teacher tells you speak English. Correct? Because other ways you won't ever turn on English speaking mode. Correct? And another good advice for myself, I am the person, so maybe that's a type of character, I am the person who loves being praised. Like, yes, you're good. You're good enough. You're so good. So I love it. And for this feeling, I work. You see, that somebody tells me that I'm good, that I'm speaking well, that I'm turning well, that I'm doing well, and so on. So you should be flexing, okay? So, hey man, I know English, you know what? And then starting telling people that they are wrong, that you are right, that you are the person who can speak up, you see? So when you start like flexing, when you start showing off, it pays off, guys. So you start feeling a bit more confident. So the second point is, do you read a lot? Guys, can you tell me honestly, do you read a lot? Not posts on Instagram, okay? And not comments under somebody's picture. I mean like reading, real reading, like taking a book or I don't know, maybe an article or something. So who reads at least one chapter a week? It's like somebody... 2 lines are a chapter, I don't know. So, okay, great. Who read a book, like whole book, people, this month? Yeah, sad picture. So, a bit of sad picture. I know reading is boring. That's the kingdom of boredom, correct? For readers, so like, oh my God. Find authors that are interesting for you. Don't ever think that reading is boring. For example, I read something connected with astrophysicists, but it's like the other way. Psychology, thrillers, horrors, whatever. And guys, don't fall into the trap of reading in English. Especially at pre-intermediate or elementary level. You can read, but it's not your main point for now. Your main point at elementary and pre-intermediate to speak. Not to read. Reading comes a bit later. When you are upper intermediate level, you can speak enough and your task is to fulfill your vocabulary. You see? So not when you don't know what to say and you're like, the words like episode, trauma, like schizophrenia, and you're like, oh my God, you don't know the simple word. Right? For example, accident. You cannot say it, and you're like, there's something, right? Please, don't fall into this trap. Read in your language, okay? Russian or Uzbek or any other languages if you can find. Because it gives you the sense of language. We will speak about it. It's really important. So, the next point that we're going to discuss is, so, advice. Remember that it's not plural. Right? Advices doesn't exist, by the way. So, advice I give to my students. The first one, imitation, voice or noise. So, what is the imitation for the language practicing? You take the book with audio description, for example, and you listen to some sentences, and then you try to speak out, not whisper, okay? Like speaking out that all Mahala hears you, okay? You can use microphone if you wish. So you have to speak it out. You should hear your own voice. You shouldn't be afraid of it. You see? You're afraid of listening to yourself. So you have to say as the speaker says. You see, with the same intonation, with the same emotion, with the same tempo, everything should be the same, okay? And English, about the voice and noise, you will remember it. It has particular rhythmic structure. What I mean is that English is like a bouncing ball, you see? So English connects you with only words you need. Until you understand it, you will never get speak. So, for example, yesterday I used my camera to take some pictures. You see? So that's a rhythm of your speaking. When you speak it, you do not understand. But when you start speaking, it's important. Okay? So yesterday I used my camera to take some pictures, and you know, that was super amazing. You see? So this is how it works. So I am highlighting only the important words that you can hear them, correct? You understood yesterday, camera, photos. And now you get the main idea, right, of it. So the same is for speaking. That's why imitation is important. And another advice for IELTS listening purposefully. So they also have it, bouncing ball. So if you hear it, it's easier for you to understand the main topic and find the words. So next one, translation. So translation is really good, especially at beginner, elementary, and pre-intermediate level. What I mean is not translation in writing something. No, I don't need it. At first step, it's okay. When I was 15, the road from my learning center to the main road took me about like 20 minutes. So, you know, 20 minutes is kind of boredom time, right? I had nothing to do. I was 15 about like 10 years ago. Fun, it was 10 years ago. Okay, so 10 years ago, I was 15. 10 years ago, I didn't have a smartphone like you all have now. So I didn't have internet or music to listen to. So I was just walking, looking around, and trying to remember what the teacher told us. And I did translation inside of my brain. So I was walking and I was looking, okay, so people are coming and going. All right, so the cars, I see some people here. So children are playing. Oh my God, what's that? You see? So everything that I saw, I was translating simultaneously inside my brain, you see? So I'm more than sure 50% of those people who are here doing it, or maybe even less. Who does so? Like me. Who does it? Oh my God, guys, you're good language learners. And others, I really recommend start doing so, okay? I'm more than sure you see lots of people doing something, correct? Somebody's like chatting on their phone, somebody's like looking with an angry face, and oh, okay, fine. So you see some people in the underground station, right? They're also like somebody's chatting, somebody's standing and screaming. Translate it. Explain to your inner voice, he's dumb, you have to explain, okay? Then, the next part, consistency. Who knows this word? Do you know? Really? So keep it silent. Okay, so I will explain it. So, only one person knows this word? Good. So, consistency. Consistency means every time, okay? All the time, with non-stop, okay? So, please, repeat this word. Consistency. I don't hear. Others? Much better. Consistency. So, what does it mean? All the time, English. So, thank you so much. So, guys, yes, all the time, right? Every day, non-stop, like a bit. So you wake up every morning, right? That's consistency. Do you drink tea in the morning or coffee? Yes? That's consistency. Do you leave? That's consistency. Not for long, you know, but still it's consistency. So, people, consistency means that you work on it all time, all right? Not like motivated by some Indian guy somewhere at 2 a.m. by YouTube, and I'm going to work hard on myself, like learning English. No. And the next day, no, thank you so much. So I will not do this. Consistency means that you always want to improve. All right? All the time. And you are doing it, you are reminding yourself your brain is lazy. So, then, next one. Consciousness. So I will kill you with my vocabulary today. So, consciousness, who knows it? Hello? It's me again, right? So, Consciousness, that's your awareness of what's going on right now. So you know that you live, that you are who you are here, and you are doing something. That's the consciousness, okay? So when people lose consciousness, they faint, okay? So they lose their mind, they do not understand what's going on. So that's the consciousness, understanding where you are, who you are, and what you do, all right? So consciousness in language learning means you understand what you are doing this for. Okay, why you're learning the language. And all the time, you just go back to this topic and you put yourself back. Come on, man, you're learning English. You're like, restaurant, like, English. So friends, like, yeah, English. Okay, so that's the consciousness. So when you remind yourself of this, okay, you have a period of life right now, like this, when you have to remind yourself. Guys, be sure, when you learn it, there are lots of things that you can do after it. But now you have to do this. And role play. So again, role plays, they can be different. So first of all, your inner voice. That's your best friend and the best speaking partner. I still hope you remember it. Then role plays, you can take like your friends, for shug'ulladka, I don't know. So put shug'ulladka in front of him is like you will be listening to me for next 30 minutes. So that's another role play, a bit of slavery, but okay. So then role play can be made with non-living objects. For example, with a table or with a plant. Plant is better, by the way. So they are living at least. So you can speak to your cat, to your dog, to the wall, to the camera, whatever. Role play means you are taking and putting the role back, okay? When I was learning, I used to pretend a lecturer because I love power. That's why I wanted to be a lecturer. So I stood up like a professor in front of plant. Usually, so when I was telling him a topic, for example, there was environment, and I told, you know, you are in danger, no? So I was telling everything that I knew about it. So like, you're not that green, so should I put everything into your soil? No. So how are you feeling, dude? You see, at the same time, I was speaking, so understanding myself and learning new vocabulary. Right? I know it's weird, people. I know it all. But at the same time, it really helped me. I discussed a lot of things with that plant. A lot of things. So I remember my first love. I came crying, you know, how could he do this to me? I don't know how. The plant was a great listener, guys. You can speak to him anytime. But it was so good, and I started feeling like really confident. By the way, my mom and my dad, they are non-English speakers. Anytime I say something in English, my mom's like, oi, все. You know, like, oh, come on, so don't say it. My father's like, teach me. Anytime I give him like a lesson to do like some speaking, I'm a bit tired. I will not do this, you see? So, but there was a plant. So he was always with me, you know, nobody else. And I didn't have a lot of like friends who spoke English. That's why, guys, use any opportunity inside of you. Then, next one, yep. That's me. When somebody says that I can't speak, like say, really? So next one. Yeah, all the time. My students know that sometimes I'm using it. It's like, no. Okay, special tricks I have learned as a student for speaking. Explain to others. Guys, always explain to others. You have learned present perfect? Amazing. Find someone who doesn't know it. Explain, even if you don't know yourself. By the way, guys, you will get money for it in the future. Now you have some time to practice. That's why explain. You know some word, you can come and say, hey, do you know this word? Should I explain? It's like when he's like, explain. Okay, so when he's a bit lost, say everything to him, say bye-bye and go away. All right? So when the person is like lost, I know it sounds weird, but it really, really works. Okay? So you find it some kind of entertaining right now, but I'm telling you the serious thing with a funny face. Okay? Because you have to be relaxed. So next one. Your brain is too lazy to remember things that it thinks are useless. all right? You have to make your brain remember, all right? And how to make the brain remember? Repetition. Again and again, every day, every single day. So your brain thinks, okay, man, we understood. All right. So, and you learn it, okay? When the teacher tells you the word and you're like, yeah, consistency. What is that? Do you remember what's the consistency? Try to remember it tomorrow. We will see how it works. So if you don't remind yourself every day, your brain will think, okay, we don't need it. So fine, happy now. Yeah, happy now. You see, it doesn't want to spend its energy. That's why it's so hard to remember and say new words, especially in speaking. He thinks like, okay, so you know this word? Do we? Do we know this word? I think no. We learn someday, but not today, definitely. And you're like stuck. You have to use your brain, right? And your brain is like, bye-bye. See you. Howdy. Next one. Use your body language. Body language matters. There was one experiment, actually. If you're interested, I can then send you or tell you. There was one experiment, and some people were asked to sit in a closed manner, like this, with their arms, and speak about some extremely difficult topic. For example, about like environment or about some issues like politics or something, in their language, native language, not in the language that they learn. You cannot imagine the results. They were superb. What I mean by this, people couldn't speak longer than 2 minutes. They were hesitating, you see? They were like shocked, stopped. They couldn't say anything, because when we explain, now look at me, I'm explaining everything. What am I doing? I'm moving, correct? I'm moving, so I'm using my language, I'm using my hands, I'm using my eyes, I'm using my head, right? I'm using my legs. So when you're open, when you're explaining, it's easier for you to remember the words. Sometimes with my students, I am using the technique of not explaining with words, but showing in motion. For example, all my students know this trick. I don't think sometimes, it's more than sometimes, like usually, right? It's not even often, it's usually. Guys, practicing but seeing no progress. I will tell you the thing. Actually, you, yourself, will never ever see the progress until you record it. So listen again. You will never ever feel or see the progress until you record it. What I mean by this is that you start recording today. Everything what you've said, what you've learned, how you told somebody something, you see? So you have to see or hear what you're speaking about. Because my first recording was when I was 17 years old. I found it yesterday when I was getting ready for this presentation. I found it on my old phone. People, that was a trash. That was a trash. Oh my God, I was listening to myself. First of all, the voice was not like mine right now, yeah? So I was like, so many mistakes. I will kill my student for it now, really, for these mistakes. It was insane. I was pre-intermediate level, God. And now, I record myself mostly every day, like 3 times a week approximately, to see how I am progressing, you see? Because you will go back after a year or 2 and you will see it. Because there are not so many people who can tell you that you are doing well. You see? Maybe your teacher can tell you like, hey, today you learned a new word, or you used a new word, yeah, good job. And you're like, that. Right? Yes, I did well. So in this case, yes, but not teachers are the same. Not all teachers are the same. Sometimes they are just teaching without giving you feedback, right? And you don't understand where you are. That's why you think that you are practicing, but see no progress. Because nobody or nothing is giving you the feedback. Okay, so you have to listen to it yourself. Then, learning vocabulary with no sense of it. I know that some students are having like a long list from A to Z, right? And like, I have to learn it in one night. Do you think it's learning? Who thinks it's learning? like real learning. I have to be a student. I have to suffer for it, cry. No? Who thinks it's true, it's correct? Nobody here? That's good then. People, it's called as cramming. You cram. You put it into your short-term memory. It will never work for you. You see? You will forget it. When you pass the exam, you forget it. When it comes to my upper intermediate students, I tell them, hey guys, do you remember we had it at intermediate level? They're like, did we? Yes. I even remember the unit when I told you this thing. They're like, no. No, we didn't have it. Like, how? Do you have this memory? It's like everything spills through it. How? Guys, that's why when you put everything into your short-term memory, it leaks out as fast as you put it there, okay? So next day you're like, not that consistency. Okay, so far so good. Do you remember what's this? Hesitation? Sequence? One by one, yes, thank you, so good. And next point, cramming. Cramming has never, ever helped anyone. You can cram for your exam if it's really important, but if you really want to learn, cramming is not for you. So, knowing how to learn means that you know how your brain works. Your brain doesn't work without repetition. So in that case, if you repeat or speak out the same thing every day, for example, the same text or the same sentence, you will get used to it. For example, the situation, like a day or maybe 2 days ago, I was explaining my students, maybe some of you guys here remember, get used to. Be used to, get used to, and all this shit. So, I know it myself, but I have never learned it. Like, there were no rules that I set and like cram for it. No, I just saw it somewhere, like, hey, good expression. So when I started using it all the time, but I didn't know how I did it. You see, I know how to use, I don't know how to explain. That's the case. So I repeatedly all the time, I just pronouncing it because I liked it. There was like a sound of it, that was cool. Then, no preparation for speaking at starting level. Guys, preparation is important. Sometimes you can say something really not that nice, or you can somehow disfocus the place of words in a sentence and say the correct crap. But there is one thing, and a lot of students are struggling with it. Fossil mistakes. Who have heard about it? Fossil mistakes. No? Nobody? So, fossil mistake, it's when you say, if I will go, if I will go, if I will go, if I will go for 3 months, you will remember it forever. That's the fossil mistake, you see? Everybody here, when you heard it from me, know that after, if we don't put will. But when you start speaking yourself, you say it. Right? Because your brain thinks in this way, and you once said it, and now you remember it forever. If I will go, if I will take, if I will bring, and and your teacher is like, every time he hears or she hears it, like, oh my gosh. So this is when you have no preparation for speaking. How to prepare? Take 5 minutes and do not write an essay, okay, for speaking. Write down only bullet points. Like, firstly, I will speak about this. Secondly, about this, like I did in my presentation. You see, there is no text. There are only bullet points, right? I remember what I should speak about. So you should do the same for any presentation or for any speaking, all right, people? Then, absence of stream of consciousness for upper level. So upper intermediate students, advanced students, IELTS students, they are completely unable to speak about some topic without preparation. So, for example, we sit and talk about some kind of issue, I don't know, about politics, okay, let it be. We speak about politics, so I give them ideas, they're like, okay. So they know how to say it, but they ask me for some time to prepare. Come on, you're up intermediates, you have to speak it out. So, stream of consciousness means you say everything what you think without writing it down. You see? You're just saying and saying and saying and saying, and you don't care how it sounds, what do you say, wrong, right, good words, not good words, you see? You are unable to say it out, people. So how to come, let's say, to the balance in this case? First of all, for stream of consciousness, you should find the topic that you extremely like. I think we all have this topic, right? For girls, it may be like talking about their feelings or fashion or studies or friends, gossiping, whatever. For boys, it can be like cars, I don't know, like internet gossiping, boys gossip too. So whatever it can be, right? And then find yourself like putting away your thoughts and speaking about it non-stop, like non-stop. You will find it difficult, people, at first time. You will be struggling, you'll be crying the first week, but it really works. Okay, stream of consciousness. Then, the next part of our today's speech is one of the techniques I've used myself. So, it sounds weird, but when you try it, it's like, great. Guys, I always tell it to my students, there are no magic tricks. Right? I told you in the beginning. So you take yourself, your body, your brain, if it works. Then you will need some free time, mirror, sticker with words, and you, of course. So you take a sticker, and how I did it. I wrote some words according to the topic. Let's say that was fashion. Okay? I wrote some like fashionable, flexing, modern, and like up to date, and so on and so on. I imagined myself being a fashion designer or the person who is in a fashion world. I put that sticker on my mirror, sat in front of it, I saw the words, okay? I saw them. I started speaking for the first time without looking at those words because those I had to learn. I didn't know them. There was no translation, no definition, but I was sitting in front and I was speaking about fashion. So I had to present a new collection of product, okay, whatever. So I was presenting like material, fabric, design, like everything. I was so, and finally I stuck with the word modern. I didn't know it, let's imagine, yeah? And then I had my eyesight on this word, modern. You see, you don't waste time. You don't go to internet, you don't grab for the books. You just see this word and you say, yeah, so our design, I don't look there. Our design is quite modern. You see? So you have to see the word, understand it, then put your eyes away from it and say it out. Okay? So your brain thinks it's, okay, I remember this word myself. Nobody helped me. You see? That's the main thing. Your brain should understand it. And then, guys, another simple advice. Do not use more than 10 words for one session. 10 words usually take you 10 days to remember. I mean, remember and use. Guys, not just simply cram, not learn, use. And this sticker you should put everywhere with yourself, reminding like what's the modern, what's the up to date, how it works. You have to remember all your conversations to yourself. You are a fashion designer, right? You were speaking about fabric. What was the brand? Thank you. Others are like, what? So I spoke about Prada brand, correct? You're being inattentive. Guys, you have to be attentive to details because at the end we will have some kind of trick for you. Okay, then, did you get it? Who is using this technique? Aha, so you're still waiting for a miracle to happen, right? So like a fairy will come to you, it's like, now you speak English. Right? So when you wake up in the morning and you understand that English is your everything. Of course not. People, it will not ever happen. My English improved with this every day, guys. I was crying, really. But I really liked it. And secondly, I started teaching. I started explaining. First of all, that was for like lower levels, like children usually, but it really helped. So find someone to explain to. And a bit of practice time, guys. We're coming up to our end. And as you saw, we had some words that I taught you, right? 3 to 4 words that maybe you have not known before, correct? So, I will give you a minute to remember the words, okay, that we were speaking about today. So you can write them down into your phone if you wish. Then you will be working in small pairs. Okay, so you will be working with the person who is sitting next to you. Your task is explain these words using techniques. Techniques are like real situation, emotions, body language, okay, and situation teaching. Your task is to explain these words. So who remembers at least 3 words from our today's topic? 3 new words that I explained. First. Exactly. Then. Hesitation. Disappointment. Okay. And consistency. So 4 words for today, right? 4 new words. Just say it. You know what this word, right? Do you remember? Yeah, what's that? Sequence, not consequence, sequence. So sequence is like one, then, yes, like step by step. Good. You know this one, like, oh. Disappointment, right? Because you expected iPhone 13 Pro Max and you got Samsung. So, okay, then you say like, hesitation, exactly, hesitation. You see, you're learning with your body language. I didn't tell you, learn it with definition, right? So you have 15 minutes, you have 15 words, go. Right? Of course not. So I explained everything in the way so that your memory remember it. Correct? Now, your task is to work with the partner for 1 or 2 minutes and taking turns explain what you have learned today. Okay? How to practice speaking, what are the new words, what are the techniques, okay? And everything that you find important for today, all right? From our today's seminar. So, turn to your partner, girls together, boys together, and so on. So turn to your partners. First of all, introduce yourself. Hello, my name is Alex. So how are you doing? And then explain what you remember from today. All right? So let's go. Create your pairs, people. Yes, you can work like 2. You can work like 2, girls like 2. Yeah, everybody is working. Everybody, I saw those who are not. Really. You can be together, people. Yes. Yes, You can be together. Come on, it's just speaking. So. English, by the way. Keep your English. Now, guys, listen to me. Another instruction. I will give you 1 minute, so you will stay with your partners. Okay, you stay with your partners. But for 1 minute or for 30 seconds, think about your biggest fears when you start speaking. Biggest fears. For example, I have a fear that somebody will look at me and think, oh, stupid. Or I don't know some word. Or once upon a time, it was like crazy thing. We were with teachers, we had a debate at Dahan. We were talking like how to pronounce the word mountain correctly. Yeah, teachers, by the way. So one part was telling mountain. It's like American version, it's like fine. Other British parts, they say mountain. We had the greatest debate ever. And for all my life, I would say mountain. And when somebody say, it's wrong, that's posh, I thought like, what the fuck? So I had a presentation. I was at different conferences. I was talking to different foreigners. And all that time I was saying mountain. I remember everything. Every time I said it. And I was like, oh God, no. God, please help me. You see, this is my biggest fear, to sound weird, to be stupid in front of other eyes. And you have to think, what stops you from speaking? Maybe you don't know some words. Maybe you sound weird. Maybe you don't like your voice. Or maybe something else happened. For example, I don't speak Uzbek, guys. I understand Uzbek. but I don't speak it. You know why? Because at the 7th grade, one teacher told me that I have a bad accent. Can you imagine that? So I was like 7th grade girl, and the teacher was like, you shouldn't speak Uzbek, you know, so you sound not that nice. I was like, oh. I was crying that day because I did my best. I was doing all lessons, I was learning words, I was trying to restate something that was teacher saying, I was trying to say something back, and I tried to communicate Uzbek during other lectures. I went out to streets. So I am native to here. I was born and raised in Uzbekistan. I'm not a foreigner. And can you imagine this level of the teacher who told me this? Now it's my trauma. Now I can't speak Uzbek because I think that everybody thinks I have a bad accent. You see? Because it started from a teacher. So it can be a fear, right? That struggles you from speaking at a good level. Now, think about your fears and tell it to your partner. Okay? So 30 minutes to think. If you have something to say, you can start right now. So guys, spoke, right? Now you know everyone a bit better, correct? So especially your partner, what are his fears, what he's struggling with. Thank you so much for today's participation. I was really glad to see you all today, and I still hope that you learned something good for yourself and you will be using it. Do not forget to share, okay? Knowledge is good when it's shareable. All right, so sharing is caring. That's why share. Remember the new words. What were the words? So first one is hesitation, then consciousness, disappointment, consistency, and sequence. Guys, when you say it out, it's easier to remember, okay? Thank you so much. Thank you for coming. See you all.